Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to Team BRY. It's been pretty much 1 year since the launch of the Google Pixel 7a, which was Google's 2023 mid-range smartphone. You might be looking for a relatively affordable Google phone, in which case the 7a is undoubtedly one of the more affordable devices on the market right now. With that said though, should you get the Pixel 7a or should you add a bit more to your budget and go for the Pixel 8a instead? Well, let's take a look. Alright, so first and foremost, one of the biggest factors to consider when getting the Pixel 7a in this day and age is of course the price. Now the phone launched at around $500 in the US, and as of this video it is much more affordable, going for around $300 or even lower, which will depend on where you're buying the 7a from. It is of course a lot more affordable than the Pixel 8a and even the Pixel 7 still. For this relatively low price, you are getting a ton of Google Pixel essentials, which will be ideal if you're very particular about trying out Google's smartphone ecosystem. Now moving on to the hardware components, the phone does come with a 6.1-inch OLED display with a 90Hz refresh rate. Now for people who want compact phones, this is a very ideal setup as it's a lot more pocket friendly, and of course the 90Hz display does make for a much more visually impressive user experience. So it's not super bright under direct sunlight. Other smartphones out there will offer brighter displays, and the display does come with thicker bezels than usual, especially when compared to the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 7. If you're very particular about that, it might not look very appealing to you. But yeah, in terms of display though, I think that the 7a manages to nail the basics. This display is wrapped in a design that mimics the Pixel 7's look, with the rectangular form factor and of course the aluminum sides that meld into the camera bar on the rear panel. Now the back is glossy as well, and instead of glass we do get plastic. Now plastic does scratch a bit more easily than glass, so if you want to keep your phone looking perfect, you might want to consider getting a case for it, and we do have a ton of case reviews for the Pixel 7a here on the channel. But one advantage though is that with plastic, if you drop your phone, it's not going to shatter, unlike glass, which is of course more prone to breaking on impact. The phone does come with the Tensor G2 chipset, which in my opinion is mostly so-and-so. Now after using the Pixel 8 with the Tensor G3 chip, it does have improved performance over the G2, as well as improved battery efficiency. I've seen less battery drain with the Tensor G3 chip, and if battery is your number one concern, then you might want to go for the Pixel 8a instead, as it does come with the newer Tensor G3 chip. With that said though, the Tensor G2 is capable for daily tasks. I mean, most users looking for a reliable daily smartphone will have no problem with the Tensor G2, and yes, you'll be able to run most games on here, but it's definitely not the best for intensive performance. Now with the Android 14 update though, I've noticed that battery life has improved on the Tensor G2. I've gotten more screen on time, and again, if you're not looking for a smartphone to run graphically heavy games and software, then this is something to consider. Now speaking of software, it does come with Android 14 at the moment. The 7a will continue to receive major software upgrades and security updates until 2028. Now that is considerably a long time of support if you're planning on getting the phone today. And of course with this you're getting a cleaner software experience as with the rest of Google's Pixel phones, and some handy features like Circle to Search, the upcoming Magic Editor software, and some staples like Google's Magic Eraser, voice transcription capabilities, call screening, and spam message filters, to name a few. This software performance extends to the phone's camera. Now the Pixel 7a is undoubtedly one of the best point-and-shoot Android camera smartphones out there, thanks to Google's impressive computational photography. As I have said in earlier videos, I am not a professional photographer by any means, and I do use the Pixel 7a a lot for casual mobile photography, and for this purpose it does manage to shine. It comes with Google's lineup of camera software, including night sight, portrait mode, as well as 4K video recording, both on the rear and front cameras, and which is of course a much welcome feature. And yeah, out of all the smartphones I've used, the Pixel 7a is undoubtedly one of the most impressive ones in terms of camera performance. Now of course, it's not a perfect smartphone, and there are some downsides to the Pixel 7a. For one, while it does come with wireless charging, it is pretty slow, and I've never really used the wireless charging capabilities on the Pixel 7a, and yeah, it's not something that I would call a major selling point of the phone. And for the screen, the display only comes with Gorilla Glass 3, so if you're looking for a much more durable and tougher display glass, then you're gonna want to go for the more expensive Pixel smartphones. So yeah, that's one more consideration to keep in mind with the Pixel 7a. Alright, so at the end of the day, if you're looking for a perfectly usable day-to-day smartphone which can get you around with your apps, with the added bonus of a terrific camera, all for a relatively affordable price, then the Pixel 7a is a perfectly good choice. On the other hand, if you're a power user and you're looking for a much more capable smartphone for intensive gaming, resource-heavy apps, a larger display and such, then you want to go for something else, as the Pixel 7a still has some limitations when it comes to those features. Alright, so that's all the time that we have for this quick video. Let me know your thoughts about the Pixel 7a. Do you have one, or are you planning on getting one? Or are you more interested in the newer Pixel 8a? Sound off in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.